How can you stop playing a game? So the first thing you have to understand is whether you are an instigator or a participator. Are you the person that opens up the game because you are unconsciously actively seeking negative recognition? Or are you somebody who wants to be able to fix and save others around you so that it makes you feel like you're a better person, a better human being? That's the first thing you would have to do to understand how to not play a game. If you are the instigator of the game, then you must start to understand why you need to play a game. Remember, there is no right and wrong. There is no good and bad. There is, oh no, I'm an instigator, that's bad. No, listen. Everybody does what they do in order to receive recognition. Okay, now if I do not receive positive recognition, I am going to actively seek out negative. So you don't start to use this to feel bad. You use this to understand yourself and get to know yourself better. Okay, so an instigator is not bad, and then somebody who takes up an invitation is not bad. They're not good either. They are just doing what they're doing in order to feel what they need to feel. The kinds of questions that you need to start to ask yourself are, how was I feeling before I invited somebody to play the game? When was the last time I actually received positive recognition from someone? Are you actually aware of your shifts in mood in order for you to understand how you're feeling and the likely behavior that takes place when you feel that way? How can you start practicing being able to assertively ask for what you need? And which behavior type do you tend to fit into? Here's a quick look at the behavior type slides. I'm not going to go into it in too much detail, but just a quick look. Which one do you fall into? If you are the instigator, that tends to be either a passive-aggressive, an aggressive, and possibly a passive place. Look at which one you fit into and then start to understand that. If you are a participator, then you must start to ask yourself, again, which behavior type do I fit into? You need to reflect on why you feel the need to rescue others. What is it emotionally that it's giving you? What do you think just before you take up the invitation to play the game? Are you even aware of what you're thinking? Or is it in a millisecond, which I've talked about in my past videos? Is it in a millisecond that you've decided to do what you've done? Do you use this defense mechanism to feel better about yourself? The defense mechanism is what? Altruism, as we spoke about earlier. I will go out and fix the world and save the world, and then that will give me the ability to say, see, I am a good person. And also it gives me the ability to not have to worry about all the things that are not okay in my world, in my life. Is this something you do to make yourself feel better? Why do you feel as though you are not good enough? Somebody who rescues, more often than not, tends to feel as though they are not worthy. They are not good enough. Now, why is that? You need to ask yourself. Remember, you may not be, or the likelihood is you are not consciously aware of these things. Hence, these questions will start to get you to go down that line. Guilt. Now, rescuers tend to feel guilty. Guilt is a useless, all-consuming feeling. It has no use whatsoever, and it comes from a place of fear. You need to start to understand, what is it that I feel guilty about? Why is it that I feel guilty? What am I so scared of? Because if guilt comes from fear, then that's the question you need to be asking. Are you scared of being unliked? Are you scared of being unloved? Are you scared of being alone? And as we talked about in my last video, alone actually unconsciously means dead. So that's a scary one, right? Now, do you find it easier to fix other people's problems rather than your own? Is it easier to run around and fix everything and everyone, which not only takes up my time, so I'm busy and I'm occupied, but you also find it considerably easier to do than focusing on yourself? So again, is that the reason why? Now, these questions are the ones that will start to move you towards a place of understanding, towards a place of awareness. And awareness is the key to you making any changes in your life. You must be aware. And the awareness is not about judgment. The awareness is about learning. It's about observing. It's about going, wow, that's interesting. How interesting is that? That when this happens, I do this. I do this because I am feeling like this. Start to get interested, not judge, and start to observe, not play the game and become part of it. For all parties, recognizing the invitation to play a game is where you need to start to get to. Once you are able to recognize the invitation to a game consciously, things will start to become considerably easier. Okay, so for all parties, at what point does this game come into play? That's the important thing. Now, let's give you some examples of understanding when you are in a game, because remember, the way we learn is to first go all the way through the game, get to the end and go, oh my God, that was a game. Then we'll be in the game going, oh my God, I'm in a game. And then go, oh God, I can't believe I got in it. And then at one point, we will actually go, oh my God, that's an invitation to a game. Fantastic, that's how we learn. So the first place you're gonna start is, when I realize I've just come out of a game, yay, I've just realized I've come out of a game. How fantastic, I've learned something new. That's how you're going to do it. Now, when you're in the game, because this is sometimes tough, you're in it and you don't know how to get out. Here is a simple or some simple ways to get out. Let's go back to the weight loss example. So the other person's going, yes, but I can't do that because, yeah, I know, that sounds great, but I can't do that because. And what you're going to do is you're going to go, okay then. You see how simple was that? You just say, okay then. Why is it that we have to then go, yeah, I know. Well, have you tried this? Or why don't you do that? Why? Why do you have to carry on and on and on? That's what they want. You are only but fueling the game. You're giving the game even more energy to last even longer and get even bigger and make sure that the payoff at the end is even harder. It's your responsibility once you're in a game to get out of it as soon as possible. And the easiest get out is to say, okay then. Now, if you find that tough, here's a beautiful observation. Ask yourself, well, that's interesting, isn't it? How comes I find that so difficult to just go, all right then. They're going to go, yes, but that's really, really hard and it's not fair because you look so good. And at that point, you're going to go, well, thank you, because you look good, right? So thank you. And you know, I'm really sorry to hear that you feel that way. And then they're going to go, yes, but, and you're going to go, yeah. God, did you see that new Rihanna video? No, honestly, wow. They should have age restrictions on these things because I can't imagine what message these videos are giving to kids these days. God, scary, scary stuff. So you see, these are really quite easy get out clauses. Okay then is actually the simplest, easiest one, but yet people find that one the hardest. The reason saying okay then is really hard is because the bottom line is, it's only when you are actually okay can you say to others, okay, right? And this goes down to the I'm okay, you're okay. You may have heard it, you may have read the book. I'm okay, you're okay is a beautiful one. Why? Because the only way that I can be okay with anyone else out there is to be okay. How do I make myself okay? Well, then I've got to work on me, right? I've got to make sure that I am aware of how I'm feeling. So now, if you're not okay because you do not feel worthy, because you feel as though you're not good enough, and so altruism and rescuing, saving humanity, one of your default mechanisms of getting out of that, then you're not going to be okay to say, I'm okay. Why? Because you're so busy and set on fixing others and fixing other situations outside of you that bang, somebody will come along, you will enter the game. Why? Because you are just so good at going around fixing, you'll get the negative feelings and bang, you'll be persecuted. Why? Because you're not good enough. Why? Because the person that just played the victim role will move over from victim to persecutor and say, see, you couldn't help me, nobody can, call me, and persecute you, make it your fault. You will never be able to save the day. You will never be able to fix anybody's issues. You may be able to do it on the surface, but then they're going to come back for more and more and more. And then you will be exhausted. Remember, rescuing others is disempowering them. Supporting others is empowering them. So again, by rescuing somebody, you are not empowering them. Actually, you're disempowering them. You're making a point of letting them know that every time they can't do something, they must come to you and you will do it for them. They've learned nothing. They've understood nothing about themselves, about growth, about learning. You've just taken all of the learning away from them. So again, how do I get myself to a place that I am okay? Now, offering solutions when someone's talking. God, this is such a popular thing I see out there. Everybody's doing it. Now look, when somebody's talking, in order for you to participate in a healthy conversation, Okay, do not offer solutions because the person isn't necessarily talking to you in order to get solutions. Why? Because they've probably been thinking about whatever it is that they're talking about for the last bloody 2 weeks, and they've already thought through a million different outcomes, possibilities, and solutions. Now, unless someone specifically asks you for your advice, unless someone does that, do not offer it. Even if somebody does ask you for your advice, you must add a disclaimer on it. And that disclaimer saves the day. What is the disclaimer? This may not work for you, but it worked for me great. Okay, you've got to add that because again, it might have been fantastic for you, but it may not work for them. And again, you're going to get upset and they're going to get upset. So don't. You must add a disclaimer. Look, this is great for me. Don't know if it'll work for you, but here's one suggestion. Most people that want to talk literally want you to listen. Me, when I talk, I want you to just pretend you're listening. You don't even have to be listening. I want you to make all the right noises, you know, undertake those body movements, nod that head of yours. In between, say, oh wow. In between, go, God, that must be tough. But just let me speak. After about 20 minutes of having a moan or offloading, I feel fantastic. It's actually when someone chucks a whole array of solutions at me, is it that I get really quite annoyed. Okay, so these are the kinds of things you're looking at doing. Now, as I said, this is a very, very basic video that I've done. If you have any questions about what I've talked about, please do stick them in the comments or message me and I can get back to you. I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, you know, just get back to me and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Also, if this video has triggered any uncomfortable feelings for you, if it's brought stuff back that you're finding hard and you would like to talk through anything that's come up, please do contact me. I'm here to be able to offer you any guidance or point you in any direction that you may need. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please do subscribe for many more of my videos. Like it and share it so we can get the message out there. Also, what I would love is for you to leave your thoughts in the comments. If you found this useful, tell me what you found so useful about it. If you went away and used some of the techniques and then realized a few things, I would love to hear from you. But also, what other topics would you really like to see in these videos? Would you like some relationship stuff? Would you like some bits and bobs on assertiveness? Would you like to know how to deal with confrontation? Do you suffer from anxiety and find that hard to deal with in everyday life? Depression? Anything else that you would like to talk through, please do leave your suggestions in the comments. I would love to be making videos that you guys need out there.